What is up, CineNerds? I'm Ryan.
And I'm JP Cross.
Ron Burgundy all over again. Question mark, question mark.
I don't know how to change.
Yeah. I'm JP Cross. Very uncertain when it comes out. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Before we get into this review, I will say this. CineNerdsPodcast.com. It matters. It matters a lot. It tells you all of our upcoming podcasts that we'll be doing on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. every Thursday at 8 p.m. on YouTube, premiering, and we are live in the chat on those. So make sure you check those out. Make sure you check out our link tree, check out past episodes, like, share, all of that magical, magical info.
Fun stuff. Like, share, subscribe, repeat.
Yes, 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 and yes.
So, Ryan made me watch this Tubi original movie called LowLifes. Or LowLife? No, LowLifes.
LowLifes, yeah. And what's funny about this is like I am the one who chose this movie. I love this movie for what it is. It's nothing magical. Don't get me wrong. This movie is not it's not like some award-winning crazy great movie. It's just good fun. And I didn't expect the twist, especially once I dive in a little bit. But I digress. This movie has a lot of promise and we're going to dig into it. Let's go.
So,
What's your initial impression,
initial
JP?
impressions. So, I knew nothing about this film other than you said, hey, let's watch this one. It's a Tubi original. So, I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't watch anything. I just went in blind. And the only thing I knew about it was, if you're watching this on YouTube, the image of the main girl, her right there. That's all I knew.
Amanda Fix is her name, and she plays the character of Amy in this.
Yeah, so that was all I knew about the film, and was the cover of the artwork for the movie, and so I we're going to dive into it, but this film has its problems. It's not bad, but it's not great. But for a Tubi original, if you're bored and you want to watch a fun horror film, yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's a good fun movie, and it's shot well.
It's shot very well, which what surprised me. So for those of you who tune in to our reels, this movie I stumbled onto accidentally. I saw the trailer and I was intrigued. I added it to my Tubi queue, and I kind of neglected it. I left it there, and it sat in the ether for a long time. And as I started going back through my Tubi Q reviews, and I'm doing them in order of when I put them in there, I got to this movie, and I'm going to read the exact way that the description in Tubi reads. So after I read this, keep in mind if you're interested in checking out this movie, I highly recommend you pause after I read this, and then you go check it out and come back and listen to the rest of this. The description of this movie says survival instincts of a road tripping family are put to the test when they have no other choice but to stay at a remote homestead. So to me, right off the rip, this movie seems like okay, it's another one of the, rednecks, hillbillies, whatever, attack a family that's traveling. Kind of, I'm thinking I'm going into like a hills have eyes scenario. I'm thinking something like that. No, that is not what the case was, and it threw me for a little curveball, and I appreciated it. So that's my initial impression. That's where I'm leaving that.
Okay.
What I was going to say before too. So when I chose this movie, I messed up in a big way, and I kept calling this movie, uh, what was it like, Outlaws or Misfits or something
I think
weird.
it was Outlaws. You said
Outlaws.
let's watch this movie Outlaws, and I'm like, dude, I can't find this movie that you're talking about on Tubi.
So I was like very thrown back by that. I was like, "What are you talking about? It's right there." And then I look it up. I'm like, "Oh, it's LowLifes. I'm sorry." And I just sent him the picture so he knew what it was. Um,
Same thing happened, with the Ugly Stepsister.
Listen, Okay, this is not a getting old or a seniors moment thing. This is I got a lot of fucking shit on my plate, and my between my kids, my wife, my new job, I just can't think straight anymore. I'm I'm throwing in the towel. I'm thinking straight, and I'm just accepting it. It's okay. I'm discombobulated often.
Use that notepad in your phone and just type this stuff out. That way it's there.
Fuck that. Listen, I do way too much with my phone. I need to start unplugging from the fucking thing. Uh, Way too much. I do have a notepad though. I love my notepad. I went up to Dollar General and I started buying these little like tiny notepads, and these things have become my everything. I prefer these to typing in a phone, anything. Just having a to do list and it's there and checking it off manually and making sure it's. I love it way better.
Yeah, you see right here, I'm holding my phone. There's my notepad, my notes and stuff. It's nice and clean. It's right there.
I feel like the amount of screen time between my phone and my computer though is far outweighing normal things that I do or used to do. Like reading I don't do resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions. This year I challenged myself to read one book a month. I'm behind, but I did start it. So I'm reading more and I'm writing more. I'm not going to give into the algorithm. I'm not going to give into the just becoming a tech person. I got to keep something simplistic.
So this movie, my first note on this movie that I wrote was the rednecks in the truck. The driver was one of the main guys, not the main guy, but he's one of them in the main cast of the TV series The 100.
Well, he's not. He's the driver of the pickup truck. You're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
The
yeah,
redneck guys,
Richard
Richard
Harmon.
Harmon. Yeah,
So it's good that you bring him up because he is a focal point of something I want to talk about. So when I watched the trailer and I saw that he was in it, I'm like, this can't be horrible. It's probably not great, but it can't be horrible because he's been in so many B movies, sci-fi movies, USA movies, series, The 100. I even put a note next to that because I knew you love The 100, JP.
yeah.
So there's so many things he's been in that I definitely am for. Oh, he was in the last Final Destination. He was in as well. So he definitely has had a decent career as that sub character you kind of see, but you don't remember where from. So him being in movies usually kind of I'll give him a chance if he's in it because he accepts them, but he doesn't accept complete shit. I'll
Yeah,
just say
yeah.
that.
And he's not a he's a pretty good actor. Like I love him in the 100 as his character's Murphy in the 100, and he's the character in the first couple seasons you're supposed to hate. You're supposed to hate him, and you generally hate him through big chunk of the series, and that's a good sign of a pretty good actor. You know,
JP, we've been doing this a long time. Can you tell me what my favorite indicator is of a villain? What my favorite thing about any villain is if they are
evil.
conflicted. I love conflicted. I love conflicted characters. So in Murphy in the 100, in his character there, you love to hate him because he was such a fucking piece of shit. His character was, but at the same time, he would do the right thing when it mattered. And I love when you have that gray area with certain characters, and he did it great. He did it well. So again, drawn towards him a little bit, even though he is a very minor character in this movie. Um, and I read the description of this, but the way that it starts off, you've got a family in an RV. They're traveling through the wayside. They're stopped at this point. Well, you see somebody getting killed. We'll say that to start. So right off the rip, there's something happening. You don't know who's killed them. And the family is stopped in their RV, and now they're having a little cookout. They're on the side of the road. They get approached by these two, and things escalate from there. Bless you, JP.
Thank you.
So, and I already like we see the family grilling and the kid, the son who's with this group, he has this look to him. And there's very few actors who have that look where I want to reach on the TV and smack the hell out of him. Are you dying?
I am. I cannot quit sneezing.
He's like he didn't like this movie and he's just getting me back for Queer Wolf. He's it's
No, I
No, but
agree. No, I agree. I looked at this kid and I just want. He's one of those kids you kind of want to smack him
oh my
for whatever
god.
reason.
Yeah, no, not there's not for whatever reason. He's a no he's a nuisance. And then so basically you come to find out that Richard Harmon's character that we were talking about, his character's name is Vern. Him and his I don't know if it's his cousin or his brother or whatever the case, they are looking for their missing family member who was the person who was killed in the opening sequence. And they kind of start giving this family grief, thinking, hey, these guys are here, no one else is. Maybe it's them. And then conveniently their car's broken down and they don't quite know why. And Vern, Richard Harmon's character, he sends his cousin, brother, whatever the guy is, with the family to be dropped off at their place because the family, the dad, well, they're kind of put off. They're like, no, we don't want anything to do with this. We don't know you. We don't want to do anything. And Vern keeps going, come on, just take him home. It'll help us out a lot. We're stuck here. And they've got a gun over their shoulder, too. So it's not a very welcoming moment. And again, you're kind of being misdirected. And so this cousin, this brother, whatever he is, he gets on the RV and he's thinking he's kind of got the upper hand. These people are scared shitless of him. And so we get 15 minutes into this movie, and at the 15-minute mark, this dude starts piecing together that his family member he's been looking for, he had been on that RV and he had written some things, and he starts, hey, wait a minute, this writing looks like my relatives. You know, the R's are backwards. This is backwards. This looks like it. And as it's happening, this annoying kid, the son of this group, comes up behind him and he starts putting the choke on this dude and he goes into serial killer mode. The family doesn't even flinch. The family doesn't flinch at all. They're like, "Come on, son, hold on." And it's like it's just normal. And so I'm like, I'm completely confused at this point because I read the description. I thought the people who were the people in the woods, I thought they were going to be the bad guys, and I'm wrong. And so I appreciated that moment. That moment right there, I was already hooked into this movie and committed. I'm like, I'm gonna watch. I gotta follow this through. What did you think about that moment?
Um, so it that moment told me everything I needed to know about the rest of the movie. For the most part, I will be honest with you. I was a little unsure on what was happening the first little bit. I was, because like I said, I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't even read anything. I didn't even read the synopsis or anything. I just went in blind. And so, at first I thought, kind of like you. I thought it was gonna be a typical, these guys are gonna end up in the wrong, someplace they don't need to belong. This nice family. But then when that happened, I was like, okay, okay, I see where this is. These are the killers, and this is how this is going to play out. And when we get to the end, I'll say more on my thoughts because there's still another twist at the end of the film that you know that you find that happens that's separate because you're already this far into this movie and you already know, okay, these rednecks aren't the crazy people. It's the clean cut suburban people that are the crazy people.
No, and the red. I'm only saying rednecks by the way because JP said it, so now it's okay. Um, no, but
I talk
to
like
that point,
this so I can say it.
I you don't see. I don't hear that. I don't. It's not even. It's not even like. Not even intentionally. I don't hear it. I just don't hear it anymore. There's no accent. When we first met, there was an accent, and it's gone. But no, to that point though, I kind of love this aspect, this kind of reverse role scenario, and you've got the crazy white bread family. So they've killed this member of the redneck family, and I don't know if that's we're just going to use that for now. Sorry.
The
Um,
lowlife family. The lowlifes.
well, I take it as the lowlifes are the killers, but either way, so they've killed this member of the family, and they're on the way to the house that they were told to drop him off at. They park their RV far enough away where they walk up to the house and they say, "Hey, our RV broke down up the road. Do you have a phone? Can we do something?" And they're like, "No, we don't have a phone, but you can stay here for the night until we can get you somewhere where you can go." And they're nothing but hospitable, nothing but kind, nothing but welcoming. They have them sit down at the family dinner table. And at this point, I'm honestly still thinking, okay, maybe there's still a crazy redneck family. We're gonna get a crazy redneck family versus a serial killer white bread family, and this is gonna be great.
See,
And that
I'm gonna stop you right there. Stop you right there, because I didn't read it this way. I read this as the clean cut family, still the crazy ones. They're gonna fuck this nice southern family up. This nice southern family's welcomed them into their home. They're feeding them. They're doing the southern hospitality. They're doing the right thing. That's how I'm reading it. And it's the damn Suburbans. It's the damn Suburbans.
as your folks should. I don't even know if I said that right. Anyway, no, but I think that what I just said though, with crazy redneck family versus crazy serial killer family, would have been a much better movie if I'm being honest. But I
You're not
still
wrong.
was yeah, no, but I'm still very impressed with this movie for the simple fact that they had me guessing in the first 15 minutes, and there's not a lot of movies that have me doing that anymore. And so you consider that with the budget of the movie, the fact that it's a Tubi original, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm invested either way. And so they're with the family though. The other thing that I want to point out is this annoying son. He has a pattern. He's a pattern serial killer, and he has these chocolate bars with him, and he keeps handing out these chocolate bars to people throughout the movie, and the chocolate bars are poisoned, and so it essentially somebody starts violently throwing up. They can't stand upright. They're completely nauseous and sick, and that's when he does what he does. So he has passed these out to anyone who would take them in the house while they're at dinner, essentially. And there's this big motherfucker who went out really quickly, by the way. I was really disappointed about that. But
And I actually wrote in my notes, I'm like, because leading up to that, the father actually goes in and tells the son, says, don't leave your room. Don't go after the big guy. The big guy's mine. And you can take care of this one, but you stay here. And the father leaves. Well, the son gets up, goes out, and goes after the big guy. The big guy's outside vomiting, and I actually put in my notes, I was like, this son's an idiot going after this big guy. This big guy starts to fuck him up for a minute, then he starts puking profusely again, and then my note right after that was, okay, maybe not. Yeah.
well, sociopaths, I mean, they don't see big or small. They don't feel. They just it's a directive more so. They're just on a mission, and that's what they're going to do. So he waited for that weakness moment, and he definitely ran with it. But I would really hoped for more in that moment. I'm not going to lie. Now the wife of the giant, she was also eating a chocolate bar, and she was completely sick, and she was in the toilet. Um, and the way the events started unfolding from here, it got really interesting. Like, and I started seeing more into the dad. His name was Keith. He was played by Matthew Menal, I think it is. This guy's kind of cool, and he did a really like out of the whole cast, he impressed me the most because he had this weird psycho. Like I could imagine him playing American Psycho with fucking what's his face, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I could imagine him doing that role without a doubt, without a second thought about it, or even playing the Joker and delivering because he has this grin. He has this grin and these intense eyes. And I was like, I was kind of pulled in by him too. So this movie just kept giving me surprises, and again, I appreciated that.
The cast as a whole is great. I mean, I don't think anybody in this cast actually did a bad job. I mean,
Totally agree.
your two main girls, Amy and Savannah, were fantastic. And like you said, the dad was great. The kid
Even the
is
mom,
the
the
mom's
least,
the mom's
Kath.
great. Yeah, and the kid, the son, we hate him, but he's pretty good.
He's
Um,
doing what he's supposed to.
yeah, so like the cast in this, they're acting the shit out of this, and while all this other stuff is transpiring, you have Amy and Savannah. Amy is kind of seducing Savannah as a college girl, and um, they start making out and start messing around, and she actually goes to stab Savannah, and Savannah pushes her off. She falls and ends up accidentally stabbing her leg, but she helps her, and they kind of have a little bit of a connection there. It felt like between them. So there's this dynamic too, and the main focus for the most part is kind of between these two girls. I mean, it goes off with the dad and everything too, but there's definitely a big focus between Amy and Savannah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really quite get what the mom's thing was, but it definitely seems like each one of the family members has their own way of killing. The boy being the chocolate bars into stabbing. All like knives, it appears very clearly. But the girl, she keeps a little knife with her, Amy, and uh, she tries that. Something happened. I forgot what happened at the moment, but something startles her because they're. By the way, Amy and Savannah also have a thing for each other, right? Is it Savannah that's the?
Yeah, well, Amy actually, you find out later in the movie that Amy is seeing somebody, and Savannah lets her father know because they actually have them tied up, her and her sister tied up. And Amy or Savannah actually says, like, well, uh, the person that she's seeing isn't a guy; it's a girl. She's your daughter's a lesbian, and the dad starts flipping out. You know, so I think Savannah was experimenting, but Amy is like, you know, full on that way.
And but well, while they're fooling around in bed, something happens, a noise, something that startles them, they jump. But it was at that moment that Amy was trying to kill Savannah, and Savannah was none the wiser, and she pulled her knife out of her pant leg, and something happens that startles them. They fall back. She falls backwards. Amy does, and when she falls backwards, the knife stabs her in the leg. So it kind of starts going from there. I think it was the noises that were happening with the big guy being killed by the boy.
It may have been. I couldn't remember if it was the noises or if it was them, like Savannah's character, all of a sudden deciding I don't want to do this anymore. But it may have been. I can't remember. Um, After all this, Savannah actually sneaks out. She finds the RV. She goes outside. Actually, she goes outside to find a first aid kit. She goes to the barn to come back to help Amy. So Savannah's out at the barn and she finds the RV. When she goes on the RV, she finds blood. She finds the stuff from her family on there, and comes back in and she finds what she finds out what's going on, and she actually starts hunting them.
Well, hold on, rewind, because when she goes in the RV, because she's hiding in the RV, it's not just because she goes in there so that she's okay, and she's actually hiding in the bathroom while they come onto the RV.
Mm-hmm.
But she also finds out that the RV has its secrets. So these guys aren't just serial killers; they're cannibals, and they have a deep freezer on the RV with cut up body parts, and those body parts already include two members of their family: the
Mm-hmm.
first guy that everyone went out looking for, and the guy that they killed on the uh, on the RV. But that said, I'm curious if it was just. I'm curious about the chocolate aspect. So if they're giving chocolate to these people they're killing and eating the meat, does that mean that that poison's in there, or did we not think that deep into it? But
I wondered, I actually wondered that too, but I was like, well, maybe it just doesn't go that far into the actual meat, It'd be in the digestive system, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
Or
know either.
maybe they cook it out.
If I'm being real, I'm okay with not understanding cannibals, so it's whatever. But no, I mean, like again, so this movie, the pacing did not disappoint me in this movie too. That was another thing I was very impressed with in this movie because the girl, once she realized who they are, now Savannah is also like she's the hunter of the family and she has a bow and arrow. So this bow and arrow comes into play now in a big way.
And this is actually my favorite kill.
Oh, the mom?
The mom.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, that was solid. I wasn't expecting it through that in that way.
yeah.
Uh the family is freaking out because they know that one of the members of the other family is loose, and they're trying to find that person. And essentially, at this point, Savannah's got her bow and arrow, and she's ready to defend whoever's left. But I think at this point, just the sisters that are left. But Savannah shoots an arrow through a window into Mom's throat, like sideways. Like it almost looked like those old costumes where it had the little hook right there, and it just
Yeah.
went through. But it was just a cool moment, and I was like, okay, I didn't expect Mom to go first because when I first saw the cast, the Richard Harmon dude aside, the mom looked like she was the most familiar. She looked like she was from some other movie I had seen somewhere, and I checked her IMDb, and I wasn't really familiar with any of the things she had done. So
I didn't check her IMDb, but I didn't recognize her. But I thought she was going to be around a little longer because she seemed like the voice of reason for the family. And so for that to happen all of a sudden out of nowhere, and that arrow literally comes through a window from outside. She shoots her through a window or outside, and it hits her through the neck, and she falls down, and the family's all freaking out. Mom's gone. And but that 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 scene was actually probably my favorite scene of the whole film.
I think that one was, but as much as I can't stand the kid, that first kill on the RV when it threw me for a loop, and the normalcy of everyone as it happened was kind of what shook me. Like I couldn't believe I could understand if parents have a certain way of life, right? But when you're teaching your kids the exact same methods and things you're doing, that's just, I guess, sociopaths and serial killers probably think like this. But like I was like, what the fuck's happening? Like this is totally normal to all of them.
So there's a part after this where all of a sudden we get a scene with a deputy. And did you recognize this deputy?
No, I didn't. What is he
Okay.
from?
Okay, so he is from Supernatural. And I put that in my
Okay.
notes, and for the life of me, I can't remember his character's name. Hang on, I'm gonna pull his character name up because everybody who's listening is gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, um, okay, yeah." He played Jack in Supernatural, the last few seasons of Supernatural. So he's like the Nephilim, and he's like the one that's supposed to fight,
Oh my
God.
god, that was him?
That's him. Like, yeah,
What?
and like he's supposed to, he's that really powerful one that kind of Castiel takes as kind of his son. Um, and he's with the Winchesters for the last multiple seasons. That was him, and I wrote that in my notes. I was like, oh, it's that guy from Supernatural, and but there's this scene where he's at home and he's like, hey, we got this weird, call, should I go out there? He's talking to the sheriff. So should I go back out there and check on this family? And like, do what you want to do. And he's like, well, it'll take me about 45 minutes to get back out there. So if that scene ends, the deputy leaves to go to check on that family because I guess it was a weird, call.
I did feel weird about that part. I did feel weird about the deputy's whole process, but I'm very intrigued about the supernatural aspect because
Yeah.
I forgot the character until you just were talking about him, and I still have to get. I'm still behind on Supernatural last 2 seasons, so I gotta
Oh,
go make sure.
there's a lot of his character in those last two
I
seasons
mean,
for
there's a
sure.
lot of his in up to where I saw it because I saw his parents and how he came to be and the whole thing,
Hmm.
and so like, yeah. So, but that aside, though, this movie keeps going. It keeps progressing nicely. So we're at a point probably where the sisters are both tied up together. They're trying to get them to fold or to turn on each other. And neither one of these sisters will buckle, neither one of them. And so they just start going at the one sister to try and entice Savannah or try and piss her off. Uh, and things start progressing from there. I'm not going to keep doing it. I can't keep. I'll go on and on about the movie, so I'll shut up because I know I ramble a lot.
You're good. You're good. Um, Let me look at my notes here. I'm going back and forth. Um, oh, so
Oh boy, that was
the
a laugh.
Yeah, I wrote this in my notes, and this goes back to the scene like after they capture the Savannah, and she's got her sister. They're torturing the sister, and Savannah tells the dad that, "Hey, your daughter's gay," and he's like mad.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like, "No,
yeah,
she's not. No, she's not." And she's like, and Amy comes. Her character's name Amy, right? Yeah, Amy.
yes.
Amy comes up and says, "Yes, it's true. My mom accepted me. We just didn't tell you. Blah 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 blah." And they get into it, and she says this line, and I wrote this line. This is what got me tickled. She says this line to her dad. She goes, "I'd rather eat pussy than people."
That's a absolute fair statement, without a doubt. Me too, me too.
And then, um, as they're arguing, the girls break free. They break loose. The sister and the um, or both the sisters, but actually the guy from the 100 comes in.
Yeah, he finally has made it on foot to the house,
Yeah,
and he's kinda like the lynch point where he helps them get back so that the tables are turned. He comes in and he's got his gun, and you are hoping that because of his character and who he is in previous movies, you're hoping that he's gonna have more of a role at this point, and he kinda goes out like a bitch, not gonna lie. He did great for what he was doing, but the
yeah.
character definitely went out.
He came in like a fucking wrecking ball, and then all of a sudden, and actually, go back to my notes because he comes in like a wrecking ball. And as I'm watching this, and this is how I write my notes. I write my notes as like as I'm watching what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, or I'll write like like something somebody says, a quote down. And I wrote guy from the one because I couldn't remember his name at the time. Guy from the 100 showed back up with a gun. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I wrote. And then my next line, well, 100 is dead. Like it's that quick. And
'Cause I did too, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I mean, he came in like a wrecking ball, and then all of a sudden it was boom, done. And I was like, well, that was a letdown, but it was a really cool scene. I mean, um, the dad actually reaches over and grabs a knife and stabs him right in the side of the head. It's a really cool scene. It's really quick. He doesn't do a lot.
I will say also to give note to this as a Tubi original, like you don't expect a lot out of this. It's not high budget, it's not crazy quality, but the cinematography was great, the practical effects were great, the knife in the side of this dude's head was great. Any kind of like little slicing happening and blood spray or blood in any aspect was appreciable. I was literally thrown back. So I want to talk about that aspect for a minute. So I feel like since 2020 that we've had a lot of movies where you are having budgets dialed back, budgets dialed in. They have to do a lot more with a lot less. And this movie is kind of definitively one of those movies to me where they did exactly that. They didn't, it wasn't shitty though. They did it right. They did it well, where they had so little. You didn't expect a lot of a relatively unknown cast, but man, did they all deliver, and man, did they all do okay. It was not a bad thing. So this is why I'm saying, like, I love these Tubi originals. Like, I'm really geeking out on all these Tubi originals. I'm not gonna lie.
And I've not dove into a lot of them like you have. You've dove into a lot of them, and I've not done that yet. I've watched a couple, and this is one of the couple that I have watched, and it was for this review.
This one, and probably Please Don't Feed the Children, Tubi original side, brilliant. I thought they were great. They're just solid movies.
Um, so fast forward a little bit from the fight scene. The sister ends up getting killed. Is it the wait a minute? I'm trying to remember. Is it the two sisters kill the father, and then the Amy comes back and kills the sister? Is that what happens?
Yes, and it's pretty brutal the way that it goes down.
Yeah,
Um, But I gotta say, I kinda wanted more out of the dad. I did want more out of
yeah.
the dad. The dad just has that psycho element that is, like, just so crucial, I feel. So, but I did like the narrowing it down eventually to the Savannah versus, Amy
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah. And that's what I meant earlier when I said, you got your two main girls, the Savannah and Amy, because that's who it comes down to at the end of the movie. And you get to this, pretty much the ending of the movie is the ending of the movie. Um, Amy takes off running out of the house with Savannah in pursuit. Savannah's going to kill unalive Amy for murdering her family. I'm trying to get better at that. But she's trying to
I
go
mean,
after.
go ahead.
She's trying to take care of uh, Amy for her family, unaliving her entire family, and just did this in front of her sister. And then all of a sudden, you see supernatural guy show up, the deputy, and Amy's running out, crying and screaming, and um, Savannah comes out behind her, and all of a sudden, you see the deputy shoot Savannah, and because she's the attacker at this point.
She's the
Um,
attacker, and the deputy thinks that this girl is in duress. Now, mind you, the deputy from Supernatural, he was following all the clues that led him to this. So, like, he was tracing phone calls that were from an LA area code, and pinned the phone that they were using from their phone to that house, and he thought that they had been kidnapped by this family. So he went there. When he sees her chasing her out the door, he has no idea that this what has happened. He just
yeah,
assumes, and he shoots her.
and he puts Amy in the squad car, trying to help her, and then he's going to go check everything out. The deputy is, and then he sees the RV. He starts going towards the RV, and all of a sudden Amy comes up behind him and unalives the deputy.
And I love the imagery that we get for the end of this movie from there. I love that she already had the issue. She had the confrontation with her father. Her father and mother weren't accepting of her ways and weren't accepting of who she was. She wanted her independence. She wanted to be away from the family. She didn't want him to die. She just wanted to be away from him. And she has this clean break. And we talk about movies that don't have happy endings, and this is one of those movies, because the one of the serial killers wins, one of the family of serial killers wins,
Yeah,
and she's driving away while these flames are just raising behind her. And so I hope Tubi will give them a sequel, because I liked this. I liked where they're going with this, and I'd like to see them get a little more budget and a little
yeah,
bit stronger cast and see where we can go with this.
yeah. It's a good film, and like I said, it's shot well. The imagery at the end. She burns the house with everybody in it, all the bodies, remove the evidence. She gets in the RV and leaves. The end. Uh, so yeah, the one of the bad guys survives, and which is cool. I always appreciate a movie that you get the bad guy to win, and this one gives you that ending. Um, well, I'll say more about this in the actual review part here in a minute, because I've got a bit to say about my actual feelings on the movie when it comes to some of this. So we'll get there. Do
Okay.
you have budget? Because
I
I didn't
couldn't
see any
find any.
budget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't find any.
I did glance and I did not see a budget.
So with a countryside road and an RV, and then just one house essentially being the set for this movie, that's where I'm talking about when you do a lot with a little. And I felt like they did that. So I can't imagine, outside of what they're paying certain actors in this, it being a huge budget. So I would venture to say, like, we're talking a like $100,000 budget. I don't think there was a lot of budget for this, but the way that it was
Yeah,
shot, it was great.
yeah. What I looked up, the only thing I could find was it just gave a guesstimate of like, hey, most of these Tubi originals are a few 100,000 to maybe a couple million. There's not there shouldn't be a huge budget for this film, but we don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, review time. So your movie, I started.
All right.
So I like this movie. I like, again, you've heard me say this movie's beautifully shot. I mean, there's no issues with this movie with how it's shot, how it looks, or even really how it feels. I mean, the actors are acting; they're doing their job. It's definitely what I said at the beginning of the episode on my initial impressions. It's if you're bored one night and you want to watch a solid horror film, this one This one's a good one to pick up. Now, this is my issue.
Unexpected treasure.
This is my issue with this movie, where Ryan says, "Well, this twist and this twist really surprised me." It didn't me, especially once we get that first scene, like he said, 15 minutes in, where it shows the family actually unaliving one of the family members and chopping them up, and I'm like, okay, well, the suburban family are the killers, and the low life people are actually the nice family that are taking them in, and that's how I perceived that. I said that a minute ago. I see the nice Southern family, but showing the Southern hospitality, and these people, you know, being serial killers, and the good, the suburban family being serial killers, and so from that point on, there was no shock to me. And then, kind of like I said with the guy from Supernatural, it did this scene out of nowhere. It brings this guy in, this deputy, and is like, "Hey, I'm going to go check on this family." Then, boof, he's gone. Well, it's already set him up to show up at the end of the film, and I've already got that in my head watching this. And then by the end of the film, when she's chasing the main girl out, or the main last remaining serial killer out, I'm like, oh, the deputy's gonna be out there, and she's going to get shot because she's the one chasing in pursuit of this other person, and he's not going to know what's going to happen. He don't know really what's happening. So I was already thinking and calling this stuff before it happened, and that's my issue with this film. And then, like I said, I didn't read the synopsis. I didn't know anything about the movie, but look at the cover right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, right below me, this picture, that is Amy. That is like the girl, the last remaining serial killer from the suburban family, the one that survives. Her face is on the main poster, and so like I'm already thinking this, like, before Savannah's character gets unalived, I'm already thinking Amy's character is going to live. I'm like, she's the picture on the cover, and I'm like, I'm already feeling this. And then when that happened with the deputy, I'm like, well, yeah, here it is. I already know. She's the image of the poster. She's everything. She's already still alive. She's getting out of here. And she does. And that's how it ends. So, as well shot as this is, for me, it felt very predictable. I wasn't very surprised at most of this stuff. The biggest surprise I had was like my favorite scene, which was when the mom got the arrow in the neck. Um, but the scenes are great. The kills are great. The movie is fun, and for me, it just wasn't as surprising as I think it was for Ryan. So that was where it hurt it for me. But I didn't dislike the movie. I just wasn't surprised by anything in it, and so it just kind of came down the middle road for me. For that reason. If I felt like more of this movie surprised me, yeah, I honestly think this movie had the potential to be in the fours as a solid horror film. Had
Wow.
the had it had those moments that really surprised me, but it don't. So I'm going to hit it a little more in the middle of the road, and I'm going to give it a even 3 out of 5 nerds.
It's not a number, it's not even. Anyways, all right. So JP's rating is absolutely fair. We're not too far off here. For me, this movie, so I had to look at this from a standpoint of what we've talked about a lot in the past. And that is JP saw the predictability and he looked at the movie poster and those things started tying together as the movie progressed and he could feel out what he wanted to. And for me, I can do that in any movie. I can start guessing within the first 10, 15 minutes. I can tell you at least a ballpark of the plot, a ballpark of who's good, who's bad. I'm usually pretty good and adept to that. This movie, though, the synopsis I did read, and I even read it to you guys in the beginning of this. And so that's what really started me in the wrong direction. So I really thought that we were looking at a typical, Hills Have Eyes kind of scenario. So when that first kill happened, that's why it was so surprising to me, because in my opinion, that was not expected. It was out of nowhere because of that synopsis. The synopsis already misdirected me. And the poster to me I see the different side of this from JP's side of things. The poster to me shows me, okay, it's the survivor. So I'm still thinking she's in the victim family. I'm not thinking she's part of the problem. So that's kind of where I took all this because I'm trying to do myself the service of appreciating movies more by not trying to predict them, if that makes sense. Because I can do it all day long and I dig into everything and I overanalyze and I can't help myself at a certain point. And it's like when I'm at work, I do certain things that when I'm at certain things in real life, I keep applying those things and doing those things, and it ruins experiences when I'm outside of work. And I don't want those things tied together. So for me, I want to enjoy movies, and that this one helped me enjoy it a little bit because they really misdirected me, and I appreciated that start to finish. I like the killing aspects. I like the storyline. I like that Tubi did this little budget and made some magic happen. So that said, I will give kudos to I'm gonna hope I'm saying this right. Tesh Goodilude, Goodalud, and Mitch Oliver, because they're the co-directors of this movie, and I think they did a great service for Tubi, and I appreciated this. Mine is slightly higher than JP's. It's a 3.5 nerds out of 5. So I thought very well of this movie, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's not something like if you're in Tubi because it's free and you got nothing to do, like JP said, definitely give it a watch. It's worth a one-time watch for sure.
All righty. Got any film recommendations?
I'm just gonna piggyback. I already mentioned it once in this review. I'm gonna go to another Tubi original. I'm gonna say, "Please don't feed the children." I've used that as a recommendation before, but since we're in Tubi originals, I think it's appropriate. It's a different take on zombies, where it involves children that are the ones that are the carriers of the zombie virus, and the way that it twists and turns a little bit is appreciable as well.
Okay, so I was actually that's what I was looking down for. If you were watching this on YouTube, I was scrolling to decide what I was going to recommend, and you know what? I've decided since so many weeks ago we did a review of Curse of the Queer Wolf, which Ryan hated. So I'm going to do something else. Since he's going off of Tubi, I'm going to give you something to watch off of Tubi. It is on Tubi, and you can watch A Polish Vampire in Burbank, which was the movie that came before Curse of the Queer Wolf. It is on there, and it is available. If you like Curse of the Queer Wolf, then I recommend going and watching A Polish Vampire in Burbank. It is, I will say, it's less offensive than Curse of the Queer Wolf, and it's more of a straight up vampire film. It's about a vampire that's doesn't really want to kill. He wants to love. It's a love story. So, um, if you like Curse of the Queer Wolf, then A Polish Vampire in Burbank, you're going to enjoy it. It's silly fun.
And if you like Curse the Queer Wolf, I'm judging. I'm judging hard.
As always. CineNerdsPodcast.com. Hey, I beat Ryan to it tonight. CineNerdsPodcast.com. You can go on there. All of our episodes are on there, and there's a
I
hundred.
said
There's a
I said
hundred.
it all at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm doing it again. There's 100+ episodes, and I want you to go on there. I want you to check them all out. I want you to share them with your friends. I want you to share, like, subscribe. Help us build our YouTube. Help us build our TikTok. Help us build our listeners. If you're listening to us on the audio side, if you're on audio version that you can leave a comment or a review, please do so. It helps us bring up the algorithm. Or share that to your socials as well. And we have a shop. We have sign posters on there. We have all that stuff's on there. But most important, like, share, subscribe, do all that.
Buy physical media. That's all. CineNerds out.
Later.